Okay, welcome to the last in the series of short videos where I go over the portfolios and talk about their strengths. These portfolios are for our architectural visualization majors. So they took actually fewer courses than since it's just a certificate, than our architecture and interior design students. And it is obviously this is a little bit different because it's really about getting a job and emphasizing technical skills that the student has, particularly advanced Revit skills as well as Photoshop, rendering, and that kind of work. So let's get started. So here, Isabel's, just a kind of nice low-key kind of sketch that she has that to start this. And then because she has a background in arts, I thought it was really important to either begin or end with these rather beautifully done, meticulous drawings as far as using ink and charcoal with a nice sense of tone. And I think it just adds another dimension to learning about this student. Likewise, these renderings from presentation techniques showing, the kind of manual craft that the student has as far as, working with markers. And then a very nice spread it was part of a team project for CAD Basics, and, details as well as the full building elevation. And then a final project that included a row house with a fairly good section and additional information here. The plans kept really small because they didn't have a lot of information, and particularly wanting to show off the section as clearly as possible so that it really shows an understanding of architectonics and how the building is put together. So we move into Revit, where again there was a row house project, and this time though produced in Revit. The final case study, nicely subtly done with almost monochromatic scheme in and using some hand drawing as well as Photoshop techniques. And here a spread from the actually this is from CAD, this is from 163, showing a section and Revit drawings and a nicely done rendering of a simple office building. And as well, although I wish she'd gotten into even more detail with this, a family that she created in Revit, although it would have been nice to have seen more of the mechanics of actually putting this together. And then a project that was also from 163, again, an iconic building, showing both work in Revit and renderings that were produced in Lumion. And this is another project that was done in 163, the house that was provided by Sears and Roebuck, with some very handsome renderings and nice clear plans and a section. Although I wish they were all the same scale. They're at different scales, and we usually want to keep them in a uniform scale. And then a little bit of a redo of a 163 project for 273, where she modeled it in Revit and rendered it, yes, again, in Lumion. Okay, so that's Isabel's. And my only critique for her is that everyone got so carried away this semester. I introduced Lumion, which I like, and I would have liked to have seen more renderings actually done within Revit, because not every company is going to drop a couple $1,000s to get Lumion, even though it's a very nice rendering tool. I also would have liked more photorealistic renderings. Here, she used a lot of watercolor technique, which is wonderful and soft, but a variety of techniques would have probably been even more compelling. Okay, Victoria Petrikieva. And here, start with some hand drawing, beautifully done hand renderings in marker of the cube in the Pavilion building. And she also did work with Isabel. It was a really great team on doing the drawings of this synagogue, B'nai Abraham. So a very handsome spread. She also wanted to include that she did more advanced parametric work in massing using Revit that was actually above and beyond anything she did in school. So these are some samples from that. And a row house that was done back in CAD Basics, which looks a little bit familiar, as well as a row house that was done in 163 with all the proper annotations, building elements, put in and related into scale. And then a final project, which was to do a Sears house. Again, I particularly think this is a handsome page layout. Victoria got very enamored of the colored pencil rendering mode or output of Lumion. And again, I wish that there had been more, or at least some renderings that were more photorealistic, although this interior is quite striking and quite beautiful. And she also did the Ames house in 163, re-rendered it in Lumion, again using the colored pencil tool. But very handsome, striking layouts, nicely organized, very attractive. And then her project that she did to finish this is 163 using Lumion, was the Villa Savoy. Again, nicely laid out sheet. She tried many alternatives. And then another project she did on her own. And again, I think actually because Revit does a better job of night renderings, again rendered in Lumion with this sketchy pencil technique, which, has an agreeable texture to it, but I would have probably liked to have seen this rendered, and it would have come out a little bit better using the renderer in Revit. So, those are some examples of what to do and maybe what not to do for architectural visualization. And this concludes the series of short videos on portfolios. All of these portfolios are loaded on the Canvas website for you to review at your leisure. So, I just wanted to use this to explain why I found these portfolios particularly compelling.